I'll be giving you a first-hand breakdown of my Israel trip, who I spoke to, what I saw, what the situation is on the ground. Not only that, I will be taking your questions, which is always fun, so bring some good ones. Tomorrow, right here live, between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going a full hour here on the Watchman Newscast. Okay, let's get into today's subject matter. As I said at the top, the new Israeli government led by Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, who leads this shaky coalition that was just sworn in on Sunday, June 13th, already the enemies of Israel are testing and probing. I'm talking about Hamas. Now, a ceasefire went into effect between Israel and Hamas back on May 26th after 11 days of intense fighting. Now, yesterday, Hamas started once again with a new provocation. This time it wasn't rockets. This time it was those incendiary balloons that we have told you about here on the newscast in months past. What does that mean? Well, in the Gaza Strip, Hamas terrorists will take literally a balloon, the kind you would see at a child's birthday party. They will make it flammable. They will attach some kind of flammable substance or an explosive device to these balloons, and they will float them, they will sail them from Gaza into southern Israel. What happens then? Well, these arson devices, really arson jihad, I guess you could call it, they scorch acre upon acre of land in southern Israel where the main economic engine is agriculture. This has been a highly effective tactic used by Hamas. They've been doing it since really spring 2018. It's been over 3 years now that they have been using this tactic. You've got the rockets, you've got the terror tunnels, you've had suicide bombers in years past. Now this is the latest diabolical innovation used by Hamas and other terrorist organizations in Gaza to hurt Israel. And the main means here is psychological terror, number one, for the communities in southern Israel which surround Gaza. But number two, again, this is economic terror warfare waged by Hamas. So they started it back up yesterday. Over 24 fires raging throughout southern Israel, and more balloons have been launched today as I come to you on Wednesday, June 16th. Several balloons yesterday, more today, more fires in southern Israel, more economic damage, more livelihoods profoundly affected among the Israeli farmers and agricultural workers in southern Israel. This is happening in real time right now, folks. Now, Israel responded overnight with airstrikes against Hamas military targets. These were the first strikes against terror targets in Gaza since that ceasefire went into effect late last month, and the first military strikes ordered by the new government and the new Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. Things have not escalated beyond what we've seen so far. There haven't been a load of rockets launched like we saw last month or massive widespread airstrikes. But folks, this is a tinderbox, and as Hamas continues to push and instigate and escalate, things could spiral out of control once again as Israel seeks to defend its citizens in southern Israel. Now, this has been going on, like I said, for years now, over 3 years. Back in November 2018, that gives you an idea, I spent time in southern Israel speaking to some of the people who are affected by these arson attacks, the incendiary balloons and kites, by the way, that Hamas and other terror organizations in Gaza continue to use to devastating effect. I spoke to one of the leaders in southern Israel, one of the agricultural representatives, to put a human face on how this is affecting Israelis every single day. This clip is from the Watchman TV show. Take a look. Chaim, we are about a mile from the Gaza border. People might hear the drones flying, monitoring Hamas activity there, and also monitoring, Chaim, these terrorist balloons that have been causing a lot of trouble here in the communities in southern Israel near the Gaza border. Tell us what's been going on here over the past few months.
The direction of the wind take those balloons from the border into our fields. We start here and go to the east, and it's every day land in different fields. The most damages were so June, July,
Yeah.
where it's harvest time, and the crop is ready to be harvested, and it's very dry.
Yeah.
And then a small fire make the whole field burning.
Burn up. Now, Chaim, look, this is thousands of acres of land have been burned by these balloons.
About 80% of the profit of those kibbutzim here, we have 10 kibbutzim in our area, and one moshav, it's based on agriculture.
Right.
And mostly the open fields agriculture.
This is their livelihood. This is how they make a living, and this is disrupting everything, these kites.
Yeah, and I have to emphasize that it's not only the economic damage, it's also let's say, the moral damage or the psychological damage. When farmer, he started agriculture guy, he start to work now in November, and he grow up his wheat all over 6 months. Yeah. His attitude to the field is like attitude to a child.
They love the land, yeah.
He loves the land, he loves the crop, and he very, very loves to harvest and to make money and to make a living from it. And then in the special point of the very most important point of time, of harvesting, that everything is burned up.
Yeah, it's burned up. This hurts your morale. It hurts you mentally, psychologically. It's really an effective terror tactic used by Hamas.
They are very, it's they find a very effective system because it's very easy. It's very easy. It's very cheap. It's very easy, very cheap, and we have to solve it. And as you know, the Israelis, they will find a solution. Yes. Finally, it will take time, but they will find it.
You could have 4 or 5 of these balloon bombings per day. Every day, this is happening.
Yeah, it's several times a day, and people have to be ready to go out and to
put out the fire. They've become firefighters.
They have to be ready 24 hours. Let's say.
They cannot beat Israel militarily, but they're trying to wear you down and harm your quality of life, right?
They have to understand that here people, the agriculture, all the people of the communities, they are very strong. Yeah. Nothing will cause them to move away. They are here, and they will be here forever.
The probing, the testing will continue from Hamas, Hezbollah, basically all of the Iranian regime's proxies now smell blood. They see a new government, they see a shaky coalition which could fall apart if there is an ideological clash. Remember, left-wing, right-wing, centrist, and even an Islamist party, all part of this new coalition, 8 parties in all. So again, you will see Israel's enemies, I believe, testing and probing and seeing and looking for signs of weakness in this new government. Strong response so far, but again, this situation to the south can spiral out of control. We're keeping a close eye on it for you. I thought it was interesting. The man I interviewed, Chaim, said that we are here forever. And if you look at the book of Amos, he's right. God Almighty says that the people of Israel have returned to their ancestral homeland, to the land of Israel, never. Key word there, never to be uprooted again. So let's continue to pray for these communities in southern Israel and pray for this new Israeli government that they are able to do what needs to be done to protect the state of Israel. We live in very, very perilous times right now, but these are also Bible times. Hey, one more reminder, tomorrow, Thursday, June 17th, we've got the live Watchman newscast right here on our YouTube channel between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Right here, I will be taking your questions. I'll do my best to answer them. We're going to have fun. And again, a breakdown of my Israel journey from the past week, everything I saw, who I spoke to, and what comes next in the world's most pivotal and strategic and chaotic region, the Middle East, and how it affects you no matter where you live. That's tomorrow. Don't miss it. Until then, thanks for joining us today. God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace.